Shalom, friends. This is Akiva Gersh with Israel in 5, and I want to invite you to bring Israel into your home throughout the year with the amazing and stunning Meir Panim calendar. This calendar will keep you connected to Israel throughout the year with its listed Jewish holidays and Israeli national holidays, and especially through its 16 beautiful, breathtaking, and professional photographs of various historical and biblical sites around the land of Israel, each one accompanied by amazing facts about each one. Some of these photographs, in fact, have been taken by an IDF soldier, giving you that very, very unique vantage point that only an IDF soldier can give. This makes a perfect gift for family members and friends who love Israel, who love the Bible, who love history. And the best part of it all, it's free. By making a donation to Meir Panim, you will get this calendar for free. It's shipped worldwide. You can give it to family members or friends, keep it for yourself as a way to keep connected to Israel all throughout the year. Just go to israel5.org/calendar or click on the link below to make a donation to Meir Panim and keep Meir Panim doing its amazing, incredible work that it always does and needs to continue to do, specifically for IDF soldiers and for evacuated families deeply affected by this war. Again, go to israel5.org/calendar or click on the link below to make a donation to Meir Panim, get this amazing and stunning calendar, and stay connected to Israel all throughout the year. Did the Torah, the Hebrew Bible, predict the events of 9/11? I know it's a very intense question to ask, but let's look at some of the verses of this week's Torah portion, Tavo, to find out. Shalom, my friends. This is the Akiva Gersh with Israel in 5, where we give you everything Israel in 5 minutes. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions or want to keep the conversation going, please do so below in the comments. Let's build some context here first, even personal context from my own life. I remember that day very, very well. 9/11, Tuesday morning, September 11th, 2001. I was living outside of New York City at the time, and I was on my way inside New York City to run an errand. I had stopped by my parents' house to pick up some documents that I needed to run this errand. And during the few minutes that I was at their house, the phone rang. I picked it up. It was my mom from her office in New York City. She told me, "I know you're going into New York City today. Don't go." I said, "Why?" She said, "Turn on the TV, you'll see." I turned on the television and I saw the first tower in flames. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. A plane crashed into one of the twin towers. I sat there for the next few hours and watched the events unfold in front of my eyes. The second tower hit, and then both towers crumbling to the ground. It was devastating. It was horrible. It was a dark, dark day. And a few days after that, I remember it was Shabbat, and I was in my community, in the synagogue, around people's Shabbat table, and everybody was talking about the same thing. Did you hear it? Did you see it? Can you believe it? What was everybody talking about? The parallel between the events of that week and the weekly Torah portion, the weekly Torah reading of that week. The weekly Torah portion of the week of 9/11 was the reading that we're reading this week, Tavo. And what does it say in this week's Torah portion? What did it say back then during the week of 9/11? It includes a long list of blessings that will come if the Jewish people follow the way of God as instructed to them by the Torah. And it also includes a long list of curses, right, that will come if they don't. And at the very, very end of this long and diverse list of curses, it says the following. And I want to read you the words directly from the Torah portion, translated into English. It says, "God will bring a nation against you from afar, from the end of the earth, which will swoop down like an eagle. A ruthless nation, a nation whose language you don't understand, a ruthless nation." But just pause there for a second. A nation will come to you from afar. The terrorists who flew those planes came from nations far away from America, from the end of the earth. They'll swoop down like an eagle, right? Flying their planes like an eagle swooping down into the buildings. They'll speak a language you don't understand. They spoke Arabic. A ruthless nation, no explanation necessary here. And then it goes on and it says the following. "It shall shut you up in all your towns throughout your land until the coming down of the mighty and towering walls in which you have trusted." Right? What is it saying? That this nation will come from afar, swooping down like an eagle, speaking a language you don't know, a ruthless nation, until the coming down of these great walls that you believed in. The parallel is shocking, right? terrorists from nations from afar, a ruthless people, ruthless terrorists speaking a language that those in America, New York City, did not understand. What did they do? They came with their planes. They crashed into the Twin Towers, these high walls, so to speak, these high towers, these towering buildings, which represented the financial capital of New York, of America. You can even say the world. These buildings that people believed in, right? The financial strength and prosperity that they represented. People believed in that. And what happened within moments, within minutes? These terrorists from a ruthless nation speaking a language the people on the ground did not understand, the people in the building did not understand, came down and brought these buildings down. Right? Just like it says in this week's Torah portion. It was shocking. It was unbelievable. People were talking about it nonstop that Shabbat and for many, many weeks to come. Now, there's this idea that everything's written in the Torah, past, present, and future. Now, I do want to say, and it's very important to say, it doesn't mean that this had to happen. Any negative prophecy of the Torah does not have to happen, right? But when something does happen, we can look back in the Torah and see where were the hints. Was it hinted at? Can we see the hints? Sometimes the hints are very, very faint. They're very, very soft. Sometimes they're very, very loud. And I think we can say the verses of this week's Torah portion, Ki Tavo, the same Torah portion we read of the week of 9/11, the hints were very, very loud. Now, again, of course, if 9/11 never happened, we wouldn't have even, thought, to make such a big deal of these verses. We would wonder, like, wow, how would that play out in the world, these verses? Will it ever play out in the world? But eventually they did. And they played out the exact week that these words were being read in synagogues across the world. Right? Again, this idea that everything is contained in the Torah. Right? It's all there. Right? We just have to know how to look. And again, sometimes it's harder to find it, sometimes it's easier. What do we do with this? I don't have such a good answer for you. Right? I don't have such a good answer for you. But I think it gives incredible strength, even more strength, to the words of the Torah, knowing that these are not simple words. This is not a simple book. This is not a book that you just go to a bookstore and pick up for a good read. This is a book that has a divine source, right, that is here to give us messages for our lives, right? Talking about the past, the present, and the future, right? We know that 9/11 was a devastating day, a dark day, a day we wish never happened, right? But after it did happen, looking back and seeing the words of the Torah portion that were being read that exact week, it does something. It's very powerful, right? It shows us the strength and the power of the Torah, the words of the Torah, right? To really show us, help us understand what's going on in the world, right? And to know that there are these messages contained in it that we can use in our own lives for the good. Of course, we're only hoping for the good. We're only praying for the good, right? We hope that a day like 9/11 never happens again, right? But again, very interesting to see the parallel between the words that we're reading this week, right? And the words that were read that week of 9/11 and the events of 9/11 itself. Hoping for good days, better days for the world. All the best and be well.